Protectorate Productions Comedy Showcase. This is Nathan Caldwell. Here we go.
And now, some Protectorate Production bloopers.
The first one, the rubber band. I knew a group, and that's you, so.
Okay, so.
Now you can ad-lib if you want, whatever, like we do.
So this group is like music people? I knew a group that played music. I knew a group that played on music, tires, and Tupperware. Is that it? That's that.
Played music on tires and Tupperware. Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You got it recorded now?
Yeah.
I knew a group that played music on tires and Tupperware.
You did?
Yeah. They were a rubber band.
And they played on tires and Tupperware?
Yep.
Well, I never heard of that song. Oh, wait, no. All right, let's redo that. I messed that up. Hey, Roy.
Where you at?
I just added that. Can I put some of this in bloopers? Houston, you got a problem. No, we're fine up here, but you got a problem. No, we're fine up here, but you got a problem. Well, you see, before lunch, I went over to Minuscule Monarch's Pizza. Well, they weren't as bad as I remembered, so I had a little extra, and, well, I ain't never launched before, and when we launched, well, you scared the you-know-what out of me, to be honest, so when we got up there, I had to use the restroom there. Well, the toilet y'all gave us wasn't working right, so Bubba had an old-style toilet he had just decided he's going to hook up for us. Well, man, we turned on that artificial gravity. Everything seemed to be working just fine. I flushed her down the drain, and that's when I noticed that Bubba forgot to hook everything up to the septic system, so everything was kind of floating in orbit over the planet. Well, we did a little calculating, and we figure in 10 years, that orbit's going to break, and that's going to land. And we did a little more calculating, and we figured out where it's going to land. Houston, you got a problem. So my friend told me today he wanted to be my brother. He felt close to me, and we were such good friends, he wanted to be my brother. I said, Mark, you're old enough to be my dad.
Hey, Nate, it's me, your dad. Got a little bone to pick with you, and I'm not talking about any roadkill. Your mom tells me you went to one of those real expensive hot-faloofa doctors out there in New York City where you're staying now, and he told you had a 69% loss of hearing because of standing next to me. It's too close to the gun on all those hunting trips. Your cousin Judy says that's just not true. Cousin Judy, she works for McDonald's over there, and she speaks to a lot of people all the time, and she says you lost that hearing from listening to all that loud rock music and going to all those concerts. So I just wanted to straighten that out. It had nothing to do with me, Nate. I told you all the time about that, not listening to all that stuff, but you didn't want to listen. Anyway, Nate, gotta go. Speak to you soon, son. Love you. Bye.
Here's something from Fred Passmore and John Lawhan from Sheaf Laughs Comedy. You can find that over at ChristianSkitScripts.com.
So why don't you go by a site, which we'll provide the link to at the end of the program. As you know, we always give the links to the comedian sites on the program website. What in the... Oh, brother, I think I know what that is. What I thought.
Oh, hey, Mr. Fred. How you doing, son?
Fine, just recording my show.
Well, that's great. I'm trying out this new vacuum cleaner, and it works real good. The last one gave up the ghost. When I opened it up, I found a mouse stuck in the hose, and it had burned out the motor.
A mouse? What, just suck him up in the hose while cleaning?
Well, no, sir. I think he was running in and out of the hose to get some bits of food from the bag inside.
Ugh.
I reckon one day he ate too much and just couldn't fit through the hose to get back out.
Oh, man.
Yep, I expect his appetite's what did him in. Guess we could all learn from that poor rat. Could you hand me your trash can there, son?
Okay, here you go.
Hey, Mr. Fred, let me tell you a good story I heard. You'll get a chuckle out of this one.
All right, hit me.
There was a guest evangelist at a church service, and he was running late. And when he got there, the service had already started. And while the songs was being sung, he realized he forgot his false teeth. He couldn't preach without them, and he was a-wondering what to do about it. And he prayed, Lord, I'm in a fix. What am I going to do? Help me, Lord. Well, the feller sitting beside him noticed his upset demeanor and asked if he was burdened about something and how could he help. And the preacher whispered to the man, he said, I forgot my teeth. And the man said, no problem. So with that, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a pair of false teeth. He said, try these. Well, the evangelist was kind of leery of using somebody else's dentures, but he was in a tight spot and desperate, so he tried them. And he said, well, those are too loose. And the man said, well, I have another pair, try these. And the preacher tried those and said, well, those are too tight. And the man weren't taken aback at all. He then said, I have one more pair of false teeth, try them. So the poor preacher put them in and said with a grin, he said, they fit perfect. Well, just about then, it was time for him to deliver a sermon, which he did, and he preached on the Lord supplying our needs. And he said, sometimes God answers our prayers in ways we would never even expect. After the meeting was over, the preacher went over to thank the man who had helped him. He said, I want to thank you, sir, for helping me out in a tight spot. I've been looking for a good dentist. Where's your office? And the man said, I ain't a dentist. I'm the local undertaker.
Oh, that gives me the chills just thinking about it.
Oh, yes, sir. Sometimes it's just not a good idea to look too close at an answer to prayer when it comes. Just accept it and move on.
Oh, I didn't see that one coming.
Speaking of moving on, I got some more rooms to clean with this thing. See you next time, Mr. Fred.
Okay, see you next time. You know, if you enjoy listening to comedy and would like to do it yourself, you can. For free comedy and drama scripts for you or your drama team to perform, go to www.christianskitscripts.com. Plus, you'll find soundtrack CDs you can purchase to enhance your performance of the skits. It's do-it-yourself Christian comedy at christianskitscripts.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you this special audio presentation from the Voice Closet.
Truth in Advertising presents Real Folks in Churches.
Real folks in churches.
Today we salute you, Mr. Can't Wait for Football Guy.
Mr. Just Can't Wait for Football Guy.
You put a covert earbud in while listening to the big game during church. Afternoon highlights? Please, you need live play-by-play.
That was a 40-yard touchdown.
You watch what's happening around you, but didn't realize you were volunteering for so much when the preacher asked for helpers to stand.
Bet you wished you'd listened.
Never mind the cell phone with constant stats. Sometimes things are just too important to miss.
Did you hear what the pastor was saying?
So crack open your Bible, oh sports fanatic in the pew, because you don't just listen to the radio. You cheer. Loudly.
Mr. Just Can't Wait for Football Guy.
Any resemblance to individuals known or unknown is purely coincidental and should not serve as an indictment against anyone you may know or observe in the past, present, future, or mirror.
Giving a lift to your left lines, the Voice Closet with Glenn Hascall. So much to say, so many ways to say it.
And here's this week's Old Time Radio Moment, brought to you by the Retro Radio Podcast and Keith Heltley.
Say, do you have a broken chair in your house? A broken table in your house? Anything that's housebroken? Well, don't try to fix it yourself. Don't ruin it. Bring it to Mel Blanc. Let him do it. Right now in the Fix-It shop, Mel's uncle is talking to our hero's general assistant, Zookie. Zookie, come here, will you?
Well, I can't. I'm too busy. Here I am.
What time is it, Zookie?
Well, according to me and my work clock, it's I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me?
Well, because by the time I tell you what time it is, it's some other time.
Come on, Zookie. Here come Mel and Betty. Let's get out of here.
Look, darling, don't you see the Fix-It shop will never amount to a thing as long as you let your Uncle Rupert and Zookie live with you.
Well, gosh, honey, I have to let them stay here.
Well, why can't that uncle of yours go to work?
Well, he's still weak from his overseas shots.
Overseas shots?
Yeah, he got him in 1917. He spent 6 months in Pierre's Bar and Grill in Paris. 20 shots a night.
That I can almost believe.
Oh, that's right. The last time he saw Paris, he didn't see it so good.
Oh, Mel, why don't you try to be serious about business?
Well, I try.
And another thing, do you realize that we have been engaged now for 5 years?
Gosh, our wooden anniversary.
Don't you think we might begin toying with the idea of getting married?
Oh, now, honey, you know I've been working on our nest egg.
Well, we're both getting old, the egg and I.
Well, yeah, but...
Mel Blanc, now this is what I'm talking about. Now look at this birthday card my father got from the Eternal Life Insurance Company this morning. Now why don't you do something like that? Why don't you try to build goodwill?
Okay. I'll send a birthday card to everybody in town who has a birthday this month.
Oh, Mel, that's wonderful.
And another thing, I'm going to talk to Uncle Rupert and put him straight.
Oh, darling, it's so good to hear you talk like this.
I'll tell Uncle. He'll just have to buckle down and loaf somewhere else. I'm sorry, Uncle Rupert, but that's the way it's got to be.
Melvin, my boy, I'm hurt. Haven't Zuki and I been everything to you?
Well, not exactly.
I haven't been everything to you?
No. That's why I want to get married. You can't even cook.
Well, anyway, my lad, let's not be hasty. I've got another idea. Why don't I go on living here and work for you?
Oh, but Uncle Rupert, I can't afford to pay you anything.
Oh, that's all right, nephew. After a while, you'll owe me so much money, I'll own the fix-it shop.
Well, yeah,
Then you can go to work for me until you earn enough money to get it back.
Say, both of us can make a darn good living like that for years. Now, wait.
Doesn't hit you, eh?
No. Uncle Rupert, you're not talking me out of this.
I see what you mean. Well, Melvin, if this means the parting of the ways, I shall simply have to ask Widow Longnecker to marry me.
Oh, but you said yourself marriage is a serious thing. Are you sure Mrs. Longnecker's your type?
Why, of course Clara's my type. She's rich, isn't she?
Yeah, but you should marry for love.
Well, I love money.
But she's so long and lanky.
Melvin, my lad, when a lady is that wealthy, she's not long and lanky. She's tall and stately.
Well, have it your way. Now, will you send Zuki for those birthday cards?
Indeed I will. Oh, Zuki, will you come here, please?
Well, I can't. I'm too busy. Here I am.
Nell wants you to go down to City Hall and get a list of people's birthdays.
Oh, people's yeah.
Then stop off on your way back and pick up some birthday cards in the 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Have you got that straight now?
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking for the
Young man, huh? This is the Bureau of Vital Statistics.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. We have records on everybody from the cradle to the grave. Records on men, records on women. Also Spike Jones playing the gypsy. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for the birthday, rockabye. Hey, I bet you was a beautiful baby.
Oh, yes, indeed I was. Why, my mother used to... Oh, so that's it. You're expecting a baby.
Oh, how could I have a baby? I'm not even married.
Well, you should have thought of that before. Marriage licenses are down the hall.
Hey, but I'm a confirmed bachelor. I don't believe in the... I'm put loose and fancy. Nobody wants me.
Now, make up your mind what you want. Our files are complete from the cradle to the grave. We have the cross index to ZY, countercross to AAL, and crisscross to YYZ, ending with the fiscal year MCM XLV. Now, what do you have?
Let me hear Spike Jones playing the gypsy.
I give up. Look, here's a list of everything we've got. You can take your pick.
Oh, thanks. Gosh. This printing is sure close to the paper.
Have a good day, and remember, laughter It's a really good medicine.